Hello everyone, Dustin Zana with Creating the Difference. Professional bowlers, both men and women, are the best athletes that our sport of bowling has to offer. But have you ever looked at the physical game differences when it comes to rev rate and what the differences truly are? Let's take a deeper dive into the data. We spent time gathering data from PBA shows to not only get a variety of players, but also gather plenty of data for the player's rev rate spec. Data was gathered from both men and women professionals, and here's what we found. Across all shots gathered, the men's average rev rate was 475 RPMs, and the women's average rev rate was 313 RPMs, a difference of 162 RPMs. Now, this video by no means says that the women's tour cannot strike. In fact, the women on tour probably have a higher strike percentage than most of us. They are incredible athletes that are great at what they do. The purpose of this video is to educate you on the differences that rev rate can play in a player's game and what the advantages of a higher rev rate can be. So what does this mean? First, the additional rev rate on the men's side will allow them to have additional miss room. In these videos, the player misses right and still strikes. Even listen to this commentary. They didn't think it was even going to strike.
How about he's getting it back from a spot that I didn't think you could get it back from?
While the women player misses right, and you can see the result is not a strike. Secondly, the additional rev rate allows them to create more entry angle. The increased rev rate will mean more strikes. Data shows that 6 degrees is the optimal entry angle for strikes when the ball is in the pocket. Looking at the bigger picture, both the men and women on tour bowl on patterns with similar difficulties and have a similar level of repeating shots. So rev rate and the ability to create more entry angle will play a role in the player's ability to strike. But how much more? In 2020, the top 10 men's players averaged 224.58, while the top 10 women in 2021 averaged 212.97. This is more than 11 pin average difference across each game. Now let's discuss the men's average rev rate. The current average for the top players on tour is 475. But if we take a look back in time to see how this average changed, we see that there's a big difference. From data gathered in 2008, the average men's rev rate was 374, a more than 100-point difference compared to the players of today. The highest rev rate on the list from 2008 was Tommy Jones, a player who throughout 2022 proved he is still one of the best players on tour, coming in 6th on the points list. But why? Tommy's rev rate has not really changed since the data collection in 2008, so throughout his dominance in the mid to late 2000s, Tommy was able to use his high rev rate at the time, winning 13 titles in 6 years. Fast forward to 2022, Tommy continues to make shows. His rev rate, an average of 470 RPMs, and his ability to repeat shots allows him to stay relevant in today's modern game. So what does this mean for you and I, the average amateur bowler? How do we strike more? The key to having more strikes in miss area is to increase our rev rate. Now, along with this, we also have to work on accuracy and the ability to repeat shots. Because none of this information means anything if you cannot hit the same spot twice in a row. You can have the highest rev rate in the world, but if you can't hit what you're looking at, it doesn't mean anything. If you have more questions or need more information, be sure to check us out at ctdbowling.com. Dustin Zana with Creating the Difference. Have a great day.